10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, providing first-class construction services on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. It's the 10-minute drill. Lots of different sports going on. We'll talk more NFL and college throughout the morning. Let's clear the decks on a few things. The dime bet board is
About time
turned
your
its
soul
way
got a little
towards
sucking.
Danny.
Yeah,
So
good.
it was
About
never
time.
really, it wasn't even fun. It wasn't ever, my
It was fun to
guys.
me. I was enjoyed it on
Morikawa
house
was
money.
DAL. I'm like, are you kidding me, Morikawa? Are
Yeah,
you
your
gonna
guys came out of the
play?
chute bad.
So that was JT never got going, and
If I don't have the first pick and get Rom, then I would have blown it. I would have taken a couple of guys, and I would have been last.
yeah.
I mean, that $7,000 difference really screwed you.
The Chubby Cubby had his best pick of the year with Bryson DeChambeau. He actually went off the board, so I tipped my cap to
I
him.
liked DeChambeau when he took him, though. I would
He
have
didn't
taken him.
follow Vegas for once.
Yeah.
It worked.
What if I had followed my gut and taken McElroy?
Yeah.
I would have taken DeChambeau instead of Koepka there
McElroy
if you
would have
hadn't
been
taken him.
fine.
But whatever.
I talked a lot about
I
being
will
happy
say
didn't.
this. I will say this next year when we do this again, and I'm fine with it, but we are going to change the way we do it in the respect that we'll either do in the way we pick it, because what we do is we end up picking the top 8 players that are, out. So we're going to do like either a national, international, and a guy outside the top 30 or something like that, where you have to, where you have to do something a little bit different and put some thought into it. But nonetheless, I will spin, and I will spin twice. I'll spin twice here in the next.
Was that a succumb to the Mets?
Yeah, the Mets are done, so I'll spin that and get those two out of the way, and just hope during this bye week that Aaron Rodgers doesn't get married.
A 3-for-all.
Because if he does, then I'm going to be spinning.
Well,
Now, I will also say,
I need to get
this.
off that damn board, so I'll happily hand it to you. I've been
thank
on there
you.
about 3 in a row.
I will
It's
say
enough.
this. Let's not forget that we did institute the get out of jail free for one of the slots. So when we spin the wheel,
Yes, that's
if
correct.
I get in here the night before and fix that wheel and put a magnet on that get out of jail free card, and it comes up twice, and I'm like, yes.
It'll end up on some reality show. Vegas's biggest hustles.
Yes, it's that. You have to dive in the YouTube wormhole. It's not going to be so it'll be a get out of jail free, and it's not free. It's not spin again. It's
Well, there is
you don't have to
there
pay
is
it.
one free spin, and then there's
Yeah.
one. I
Yes.
forget what we called it. It wasn't get out of
Yes.
jail free, but it was something to that
Yes.
effect.
So anyway, but yeah,
we'll be rooting for you to not hit that one, and
Correct.
instead hit something where you have to,
All right.
I don't know, shave your whole body or whatever.
correct. Oh, I can't wait.
Lunacy that we come up with this time. So,
But we'll
I
start
wanna
that.
know-
We'll start figuring out some options. Do we have brunch with the tour tomorrow?
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
we do.
We'll start doing that tomorrow. We'll open up the Googans. Always give us some good suggestions. So we'll get that going and get it taken care of. The sooner the better.
Are you?
It's like you got to get. It's like when I was a little kid. I got to go. I knew I had to go to the doctor and get a shot. Let's go. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I know. Remember I started paying them
Get her
off.
done.
I started paying them off before I even lost. I didn't want them hanging.
Get her
over.
done.
So were you
Yes.
angry, embarrassed, non-factor? Just give me the temperature that after you shoved the thermometer in your baseball team's under your baseball team's tongue after yesterday, and the childish, petty. I would be livid, but I'll ask you. You're the Mets fan.
I will echo what Paulie LaDuca tweeted yesterday, former Met catcher.
Tell folks what happened first of all.
well,
they haven't heard yet. I
El
let the 6 o'clockers in. I'll let you
El
tell it at 7.
Burro, not El Mago, but El Burro, the jackass.
Yeah, there hasn't been much Mago from El Mago.
Yeah, you can have him.
No, he's
back.
all yours now, pal.
Well,
Enjoy
that's
it.
not what I read. I read you're going to give him $150 million, so you feel free and go right ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where'd you read
so
that? Your
first
guy
thing I can
Nightingale?
tell y'all, we're off the Javi Baez train in New York. So anyway,
What'd you say?
Where'd you read that from? Your guy Nightingale?
Yeah. Thank God that didn't work, by the way. I'm glad he was wrong. So Javi got on, met with the media yesterday, and the Mets, every team, when they get a big hit, they have some signal.
That's the new thing.
And for the Mets, for a while, it was in honor of Joey LaCasey, who pitched, who throws the churve. So they would do the churve sign all season. It was the churve.
you see some do like the shark fin. The
Yeah.
Braves do like that. They're throwing the sage. That's what theirs is.
Yeah. So whatever it is, so it's fine, and in fact, the rumor is the Mets wanted to start the thumbs down, which is their way of booing the fans back. They wanted to start it weeks ago, but they hadn't gotten a hit.
Well,
so they couldn't do it.
Sure, you had to have something to celebrate, ironically.
Yeah, those gutless so-and-so. So anyway, yesterday out of the blue, Pilar, Baez, and Frankie Lindor all do this thumbs down. So
vehement,
so
moving their hands.
So the writers afterwards go, they had Javi Baez on, and they said, Javi, what's the deal with the thumbs down? Here's what he said.
We're not machines. We're gonna struggle. We're gonna struggle 7 times out of 10. And it just feels bad when we strike out. When I strike out and I get booed, it doesn't really get to me. But I want to let them know that when we success, we're gonna do the same thing to know how to let them know how it feels. Because if we win together, then we gotta lose together. And the fans are really big part of it. So they gotta be better. I play for the fans and I love the fans, but if they're gonna do that, they just putting more pressures on the team.
Yeah,
that's not what we want.
Yeah, you just added to the disconnect between fans and players. Times 10.
To be honest,
Javi,
Hick, you're a Mets fan.
Yeah.
If you rank the Mets teams in your lifetime on the deservedness of getting booed,
yeah, they deserve it.
Right, this may be the most deserving Mets team to be booed of any you've ever followed.
I boo I'll boo stuff. I don't really boo a player when he's not doing well, but I don't care if you do. I would never boo a college kid. I draw the line there. But again, listen, you're in the arena, man. But for you to come out and do this, and Francisco,
they're basically middle finger in the fans, is what they do.
The Mets have bent over backwards for Frankie Lindor, and for him to do it. And by the way, Frankie, you finally got the opportunity to do it when you got a double with the bases loaded when the game was already 7-4. It wasn't a big enough hit for you to do it either, Chief Hefe. So you and Javi, Frankie, if you want to give the money back and leave, that's fine. I'm disgusted, and I applaud Sandy Alderson. It's the best thing he's done all year. You jackasses do this again, and we're not putting up with that. Mets fans. And I hate fan who thinks it's oh, everything's fine. Like Pilar went to Twitter, who also did it, by the way. And listen, Pilar took one in the face this year, so I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he went to Twitter and he tried to downplay it once he realized, oh, this thing's going to blow up. Yeah, it's going to blow up.
You're
when you sit there and say what that is, and your team is horribly underperformed, and the franchise is giving you everything. And by the way, there's been big crowds at Citi Field for a month now, and they're in there and they're trying to watch you lose game after game.
Well,
after
I don't
game
appreciate
after
Javi
game.
Baez and his $30 million a year. Just diminishing the guy sitting in the right field bleachers with his son makes $48 a year, spending his vacation money to come see a Mets game, and then you get that from these jackasses because they finally had some success.
This is what so Paulie LaDuca said. And he was a former catcher for the Mets. He says, people get mad at me. In 2006, we won 10 in a row on the road, set a Met record, came home and got blown out by the Pirates, who were in last place. We got booed off the field. I laugh because Met Nation is so passionate. Get it or go home. I'm sorry. I wonder if it says I got booed on his paycheck. Yeah, I'm fired up. Good night.
Yeah, and that's how almost anyone feels. But
Baez needs to grow a pair. If you get booed in New York, you deserve it because when you deliver, you're a god. That's facts. So
I almost blame Lindor more, Hick.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Shame on you.
Yeah.
You held a gun to their head to get your 10-year 341.
Right.
You haven't played worth a bleep all year.
Right.
And so now you're happy guy, Mr. No, he annoys me more than Baez.
What could this statement be from the Mets? I'll be honest. I'm not even going to read it. It just should say win. Stop with the nonsense. Winning in Cuevos cures everything. And he's right. I mean, it's just shame on Javi Baez, and I guess he won't be coming. And by the way, I'll give you one more factoid. If they offered El Mago, if the Mets offer El Mago $150 million over 10 years, guess who's suddenly going to love New York? El Mago. Yeah. So then the booing won't matter as much, will it? So that was weak sauce by a spineless team that has no leadership, and I'm disappointed. I am disappointed in Lindor for the first time because I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt throughout the year. I like the way he leads the club, but they got the wrong Cub. They should have traded for Bryant,
who's been awesome for the Giants.
And they bowed to Lindor, who's buddies with Baez, and they're excited and play together and blah blah blah. And this is what you do. I mean that. And so you let Baez. That was just weak. It was weak all the way around. It was weak by the club, and of course they're going to make a deal out of it. And by the way, the Mets, It's only the Mets. It's always the Mets. Whatever. You know, the Mets I grew up on loved doing cocaine and fought every night. That's what somebody else tweeted.
Well, they won a World
and
Series.
then the owner had a tweet that made me chuckle.
Yeah.
I miss the days when the biggest controversy was the black uniform. So I'll get used to it, buddy. And this franchise looks like it needs to be scrubbed again. Quite honestly, I mean, I just have been a huge disappointment this year. And in my almost 60 years of Mets baseball, I would tell you that this is a bottom 5 in terms of hard watches for me this year.
It kind of feels like from the other side too. That you've wasted DeGrom, one of the best pitchers.
My last
you've had.
thing is I actually got into it with a kid on Twitter.
Oh no!
And he does a podcast, and he's like 24 years old, and he went on this. He put this long thing out. Mets fans generally suck, and I said, "Bro,
is he a Mets fan or
yeah?" And I said, "That's such an ignorant statement." Listen to me. We have a group called the 7 Line that sends 5,000 fans. They go on road trips together and sit in the stands of opposing stadiums and cheer. I've been to numerous stadiums across MLB where there'll be more Met fans there than home team fans. Met fans don't generally suck. Met fans are all kinds of different types of people. When you have all kinds of different types of people, some are going to boo, some are not going to boo, some are going to, that's the way being a fan is. So it's just whatever. It is what it is. But what an idiotic statement, and he really should apologize. So that's how I feel. No, he hasn't yet. He said this last night. So
no, telling him he has to apologize is going to make him feel worse, and he's going to thumbs down more and harder.
Well, I appreciate that you have conceded. So I'm guessing as you play the next 12 against the Marlins and the Nats, and I've got the next
6 and 6.
12.
Mark it down.
Okay, so I don't have anything to worry about.
We'll probably get swept by the Marlins tomorrow, and that'll be that.
Because the Braves are fitting to go 3 at the Dodgers and then 4 at the Rockies. But
I've been there and done
2 out of 3 against the Giants was a good start. I was happy with that.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, it's the best team in baseball record-wise.
And
you had to kind of at least send a note that you want to compete in the postseason, and you did. So, I don't. Whatever. We're done. We're toast. We are so toast. I told you what's going to happen. We fall out of it. We'll plod along here, piddle along, and then we'll get hot in mid-September, and we'll win, 8 of our last 10 when it doesn't matter.
Back.
And they'll say, "Oh,
sweep Atlanta to end the year."
Instead of being 5 back, we'll be 2 back. Oh, let's go. When Atlanta's playing their old outfield of Heredia and Almonte and Bob Horner. That's what I'm going to deal with. So anyway, it is what it is. So that's what I hate this team.
You know what?
Fans,
I've
they
said
gotta
this
be better.
Yeah,
I've said this before.
Avi.
Cliches are cliches for a reason because they speak to so much
Avi,
truth.
did you buy 1,000 tickets today for the fans? Because they'll cheer you if you do that, by the way, Avi. If we're all in this, quote, together.
I was starting to say a cliche is a cliche. Let's not forget because it speaks so much truth that it stands the test of time. And there's an old golf cliche that's never been more true than watching that final round and then the playoff yesterday. And that drive for show and putt for dough. You got one guy who they come from miles to watch him swing hard and hit it a country mile. Yet it was the guy who was making every putt who takes home the money.
And there were moments there I was like, he better make this. DeChambeau better make this putt. He better make this putt. And they did call. They did call it. Manny had that same. Cantley had that same putt, same uphill, 21 feet, and he just drained it. He drained
in the 6th playoff.
Yeah,
they had a bunch of between.
But how many times did he save himself? Like 4 or 5, 6 times. It was really good golf because I will say this:
because DeChambeau's hitting good, he just couldn't get one again. He wasn't.
DeChambeau's iron play was terrific.
Yeah.
I mean, he was putting them all close for birdies. How about on 17, the 5th hole? DeChambeau hits a perfect shot,
7 feet.
And then Cantlay goes inside him, and I'm like, holy cow. Or even on the previous hole, on 18, DeChambeau hits it in the water and saves par.
Yeah.
Or Cantlay hits it in the water and gets a clutch bogey.
It was terrific.
It was great golf. And that's what you want when you have that. You don't want to have look at this guy happens to win,
The only thing wrong with a long playoff is that it's just not it gets disjointed.
I was ready for it to be over.
Golf, you go, you play the hole, you immediately go to the next tee, you play the hole, and in a playoff you can't. You play the hole.
By the way,
then you got to ride out to some other hole.
I think I read this, and I may be wrong, but I'm almost positive that DeChambeau did not meet with the media afterwards. What a terrible look. Why did he not do that?
I don't know. Maybe because they were in a rush to get out of there.
No, I don't. It doesn't.
That could have been. He didn't win. I mean, it could have been. Maybe he's just, they probably plan on getting out of there.
Well, it's bad.
He is not.
No, he's silent. He's not talking.
Well, he hadn't spoken since he got. They beat him up over this.
Well, what happened?
Vaccine.
Did you see what happened
He had
on
that weird moment.
That was not that big a deal.
Are you sure?
Yes, Paul Azinger made such a big deal out of that.
Okay.
All he did was ask Cantlay to stop walking. I mean, so what? Why is that such a big deal? Here was the deal. Okay, I'm here, Dan.
Yeah.
The green is over your head, and I'm Bryson DeChambeau, and I'm kind of looking. And then way across the fairway up there and kind of walking as he kind of gets into his periphery is he's not doing it intentionally, but Cantlay's just kind of slowly walking up the fairway.
Okay.
And it distracted Bryson, so he stopped and said, "Hey, Patrick, can you please not walk?" That's all he did.
Okay.
And then Azinger acts like he went over there and punched him in the face. Yeah. So I don't think that was a big deal. He's not talking because he took, the vaccination police got on him. That's what happened.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Because he said something to the effect
he brazenly told reporters he didn't need the COVID-19 vaccine.
Right there, brazenly.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's just the way what's so brazen about it, honestly?
I'm misquoting. Breezily told reporters.
Oh, okay.
Breezily.
Okay, nice. That's
which
different.
is kind of like brazenly. Breezily is the same. It's
well,
still got
brazenly is like with authority, and breezely's like not, ha.
Yeah. But anyway, so he hasn't talked to them in a while, so. Anyway, but he did not meet with the media, which, surprised me, but I guess that's why. So, anyway, nonetheless, it was a great tournament for him and for Cantlay, and it was a 2-horse race. It was good. It was good theater.
Well, that narrative that we've been pounding since Phil won the PGA finally stopped. It was even more. The Shazam Spotlight brought to you by Shazam Auto. I picked this note up from the golf world over the weekend. By the way, head down here before calendar year ends. You get some great deals at Murray Ford Superstore, Stark and Kingsland. Nobody's going to treat you better. All right. It's more than these third-round leaders haven't been able to hold the lead. Mm-hmm. Right? I've been talking about that every week. Somebody chokes away a 3-4 shot lead. Sure. But since Phil finished off the PGA, there's been, I think, 15 tournaments, okay?
Yeah.
This is the first time that the winner has led any round of the tournament. In other words, in all of those tournaments, the first-round leader, the second-round leader, and the third-round leader, none of those players ended up winning the golf tournament. And so finally it's not just the third-round leader blowing it. Like whoever led the first round is not going on to win, whoever led the second round is not going on to win, and whoever led the third round is not going on to win until I assume you know what? Shame on me. Was it Cantlay with a 1-shot lead over DeChambeau going into yesterday? Were they tied? Was it DeChambeau by 1?
Were tied,
I think they were tied.
They were tied?
Yeah.
Well, they certainly didn't let anybody else join the party.
The fun thing in our competition would have been if one of us had Cantlay and one of us had DeChambeau, and it came down to that. But there was just no drama in ours at all.
I got to, and I'll do this today instead of tomorrow with Stuart Moore because we make it uncomfortable if we say anything critical about the PGA Tour. Mm-hmm. Nice job picking the course for the playoff, boys.
Yeah.
Any research go into that? Why don't we just do it at putt-putt next year? That's a joke, man. I got a guy shooting 60, guys shooting 62s. This is the playoffs. You should be sticking it to them. This should be hard. So 2 guys at 27 under, that ain't cutting it. What a terror. These guys, man, it's all about cash, I guess, right? There's some cash changing hands. How else do you explain this golf tournament ending up there? And by the way,
where is the Caves? Where was that course?
That's in outside of Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
But by the way, here's another thing. It's just so doggone rotten. When it comes to the tradition. Okay, you know what this tournament is, right? You know what this tournament is? It's called what it used to be before. You had to get every drop of ink out of a dollar bill, was the Western Open. Okay, the Western Open was played at Cog Hill, a very, a prestigious golf course in the Midwest.
Outside of Chicago, right?
Yeah, right. But when the playoff came around, we decided that, we can't go to one of the more premier, tradition-rich courses in the world where it's, not as easy to score and so it should be the dadgum BMW Western Open at Cog Hill every year, but that's a different story. The bottom of the story is this. Big E card on the tour for putting that golf tournament there yesterday. You got to have some knowledge of how difficult it's going to play because that's a joke. I mean, they had some of these par 5s. My man hit a pitching wedge into one of those par 5s. DeChambeau hits it so stinking far, doesn't he?
But what a
195 pitching wedge? How's that even possible, man?
I don't know. I was happy to hit it 90 the other day. Nothing about the
Me too, friend.
There's an interesting article by Kevin Van Valkenburg on ESPN. And I liken this a little bit to LeBron in this respect. Bryson DeChambeau, apparently, for those who know him, he does not like being the villain. And he's sort of morphed into this villain, and he's getting ticked with it. And I just always thought, like, when LeBron went to Miami, he decided, we'll be the bad boys, and it didn't work for him.
It didn't work for him.
Right. Like, I always go back to I always go back to this, and you know I've said this, Beef. Like, remember when the fat guy in Miami hit the half-court shot?
Yeah.
And won like $20,000.
Right.
And LeBron came running out and hugged him and rolled
That's
around
him.
the floor.
That's the real him.
That's the real LeBron.
He's a jovial, likes to be liked guy.
But apparently DeChambeau is a little bit like that as well. Like he wants to be, deep down, he wants to be liked. He does not, this is like bugging him. Like,
in fairness to DeChambeau, he should not be the villain.
Right.
He hasn't done anything to anyone.
What's
to be
happened
the villain.
is that they continue with these great job Brooksy comments.
Well, here's what happens.
And he
to
said
a lot
yesterday,
of these
you know what? Get the bleep out. And
Yeah.
the guy said he had rage in his eyes. I'm being dead serious when I say it could have gotten ugly real fast. Not malice at the palace bad, but in that moment, nothing would have surprised me. A rope line is a little more than a polite suggestion when it comes to security. DeChambeau had been hearing and ignoring that kind of taunt all week, but everyone has their breaking
It's weak
point.
on golf. And in fact, if I were the PGA Tour, I would kick people out to say that. I would. It's time. It's not golf. That's not golf.
For me yesterday when I was watching, I was rooting for DeChambeau to win.
Yeah.
Over Cantlay. The fact that they're cheering for Patrick Cantlay,
Got
who
no
has the
personality.
personality of a dead fish,
I think
over
that
DeChambeau is kind of odd.
I think it's time for golf. Okay, aside from a couple of social media quips and insults you'll get, it's time for golf to batten down on the behavior. It's not golf. It doesn't work. You want to do this? Go to the Giants game, friend. Mm-hmm. We're not doing this here. If you're going to stand at our thing and scream at the players, we're going to ask you to leave because that's not golf.
This writer said 5 years ago when DeChambeau was about to turn pro, I sent him an email asking him if he could sit down for an interview about his desire to be an agent of change in the stagnant world of golf. He wrote back right away. He was polite and earnest, invited me to come to California, spend time with him and his family, an open book, excited to share his theories on where he saw the sport going. So that's not the DeChambeau
look, I have felt for him in this whole Brooks thing because Brooks embodies this social media crowd. Yeah. Just rude, disingenuous, hop on you when they have anything.
I think we go both ways. But anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Beef, do we have a prize pack? Let's move on. Let's talk some college football when we come back. It starts on Saturday. I'm excited. Got some notes as we look forward to the Gators playing. We look forward to huge games. We look forward to FSU Notre Dame on Sunday night. There's lots of good stuff. But right now, if you're caller number 3, Beef, tell them what they're going to win at 641-1010.
Caller number 3 right now at 641-1010. Going to go home with a voucher 4-pack for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Good for one home game. Shrimp have 3 home stands remaining. They're home for the next 2 weeks starting tomorrow, and you'll get a 4-pack for that. You'll also get $25 to Scrubbles Car Wash. Call now, 641-1010.